Good evening, everybody. My name is Steve, and this is another edition of video recordings for Imperia. Now, it's been about a month and a half since we've done a video diary, so this one's going to be pretty short. Basically, just want to show you what we've been working on over the last month or so. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to create a new galaxy, 150 stars, we'll say 13 AIs, about 7,000 size, and we'll call ourselves the Evil Empire, because it just sounds cool. Alright. So not a lot here. You can see these graphics look a little better. Of course, this is going to change a lot in the final. We've just kind of cleaned up the screens a little bit. So we spent a lot of time on the foundation of the game. We want to make sure that the game looks good. We want to make sure it runs fast. And we want to make sure that the game underneath is a lot of fun. So here's the Galaxy screens. You can see we've done a few changes. We're playing around with the angle. We may do a couple different looks. But you can see we're in the Galaxy mode. So you can kind of look around and you see the low, medium, high, and that's basically the amount of information that you know about each star. So if we were to go into a low star, see, we don't have any information, we don't even know what's in it. Whereas if we were to go to a high star, then you see we actually know about the different planets, and we have some basic information depending on the scan level. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. So we've added quite a bit of information, and we're continuing to add to the province zoom. So our ideal is in the UI you should only see what you need at any one time. So when you zoom into the province mode, see how it says province mode, you see how things start to fade out, and now you can kind of see the lines, you can see the province labels, and as you can see there are different sizes depending on the size of the province. So one star provinces only have the little one, while bigger ones have, 3 or 4 at a time. So as you zoom out, you have the galaxy view with the civilization information, and as you zoom in, things fade away. Alright, let's take a look at some of the changes we've made so far. We've kind of cleaned up the display. A lot of things have looked a little bit nicer. Biggest thing you see, obviously, are character information. We have tooltips. We've updated the tooltips with the new Intel system. So when you have low Intel on a character, you're only going to know whether something's high or something's low. Medium, you're going to have high, average, low, and then high and full. You'll have more information about that. You also have houses, and each house has its specialty. So we're going to go in and look at New Terra. Now, one thing you can see is we're working on the trade system. So you can see that New Terra, for their gross planetary product of $1.7 trillion, they've added $16 billion to trade. So let's go ahead and zoom in. You can see there's quite a bit has changed since we last looked at this. We now have star-based levels, so you can be trade hubs or not trade hubs. You can see we've also updated the planet information screen. And here's a couple new things. We have a production screen, kind of a cool effect. We now have a production summary. Planets produce 5 different materials. They produce energy, food, alpha materials, which are your basic resources, heavy materials, which are used for things like military and starships, and then rare resources, which are used primarily for science and high-end weaponry. So this is how much New Terra has produced. This is how many of each are required for different functions. This shows the imports and exports. So you can see New Terra has exported 40 alpha materials out, and this shows the monthly surplus or shortfall. So as a planet has shortfalls of certain items, it will affect either the POPs or the popular support of the planet, or will not allow them to do things like build, and it'll have different effects. Obviously, running out of food is not a good thing. Energy will cause brownouts and cause issues with trade and production, and so on and so forth. And these show just the resource stock levels, and then these are the prices of each resource, and those are a global economy, and they go up and down depending on supply, demand, and what trades are out. So it's kind of a different look. So looking at the region display real quick, not a whole lot of changes, but we have added several new pop types. As you can see on the left, we have 7 different pop types now in our economy. Pops can be farmers, miners, fluxmen, which create energy, engineers, admins, which create ADM points, merchants, which create gross planetary product with surplus goods, and scientists, which create data. Everything else is pretty similar to that. So let's go ahead and take it. The next thing we're going to look at is the character screen, and this is something that's a work in progress, so we'll go ahead and look at Shakira. So this is a work in progress. A lot of things are familiar to what you knew with the old Imperia, but of course we want to update. This shows the chain of command. We have the planetary viceroy, system governor, provincial governor. This will actually show orders. It's going to be a scroll screen. Just for a test, we have everyone in their house. They have the transmission, history. Every character now has a history and can be added to depending on what they do in the game. Known relations, this is something new that we've added. So this shows you, as long as the character has at least a medium intelligence and the other character has at least a medium, this will show you their relations with that character, where 0 is obviously they hate each other and 100 is they love each other. We'll probably change that to words, but for now it's just for testing. Current activity, you'll actually be able to use what's called Inquisitor squads when you want to spy on a particular character, and this will be able to tell you what they're doing, what their plans are, if they're plotting, etc. So not a lot going on here. Everything is still functional. You can click on different characters. You can click on here. It shows you the system governor. It shows you the new chain of command. So a lot of what's here is already functional. So we'll go ahead and go away from that. All right, we'll go ahead and go back out. We've also changed the system intel levels a little bit. We've gotten away from numbers. We're trying to get away from numbers as much as possible. So that's pretty much what we've got. Those are your major changes in the game so far. We'll have an update in a few more weeks, and hopefully by then we'll have the trade system complete and we'll have some orders and edicts ready to go. Thanks for watching.